Look, I love Houston, but let's be real, this place tests me on a daily basis. The traffic here is a freaking nightmare. The weather is moodier than a teenager who just got their phone taken away. And don't even get me started on the never-ending road construction, because apparently they're building roads straight into the afterlife at this point. So today, we're gonna be breaking down all of the things that makes Houston special. And by special, I mean mildly infuriating. If you live here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you don't live here and you're thinking about maybe moving here to Houston, then consider this your fair warning. So let's talk about the things that I hate about Houston, Texas. And number one is gonna be traffic, the never-ending jam sessions. Houston traffic isn't just bad, it is a rite of passage. Whether you're crawling down I-45 at 5 miles per hour or you're parked on the side of the road on Katy Freeway, yes, parked, because calling it moving would be generous. The traffic here will test your ever-loving patience and your sanity.
Can you move? Move!
And the worst part about this is that Houston has some of the widest freeways in the freaking country, yet it still feels like there's nowhere to go. The Katy Freeway, for example, has 26 lanes at its widest point. I mean, you would think that would solve the problem, right? Nope. Instead, it just means that more people are stuck in even more lanes with nowhere to go, all questioning their life choices at the same time. And let's talk about the drivers here in Houston, because you have 3 different types of people, essentially. We have the speed racer who just treats the freeway like it's the NASCAR track. Then we have the Sunday driver going 45 in the left lane, the fast lane, while they're sightseeing. I mean, by the way, if you are in the fast lane, which is all the way on the far left, okay, if you're not going at least 150 miles per hour, please just do yourself and everyone in the city of Houston a favor. Get out. Go to the far right lane. Don't stay in the far left, okay? There's just a recipe for disaster. People get road rage here. It just don't do it. Just stay out of the fast lane unless you really want to break the law. And then the third driver we like to call the weaver, who's going to be weaving in and out of traffic just like this, pretty much causing all kinds of chaos and mayhem, and who thinks blinkers are just a sign of weakness. And if you throw in a few trucks that are the size of a few small houses, that is just a recipe for pure chaos. And the second thing that I hate about Houston, the crime rate that's gonna be constantly keeping you on your toes. Houston isn't exactly Mayberry, okay? If you live here long enough, you're gonna hear the phrase, always lock your doors, more times than you can actually count. So how bad is it? Well, Houston has a crime rate of about 56 per 1,000 residents, which means you have a chance of being a victim of 1 in 18. That's not exactly comforting in my books. And while crime is essentially just citywide, it is the 4th or 5th largest city in America, some areas feel like you've really just entered Grand Theft Auto in real life. Grand Theft Auto the game, of course. Car break-ins are common. Package theft is pretty much expected from porch pirates. I mean, getting your catalytic converter stolen in broad daylight, well, that's practically a Houston tradition at this point. However, all jokes aside, Houston isn't the most dangerous city in America. It was pretty high up there, but lately, things have started to change a little bit, and it doesn't even crack the top 10 as most dangerous cities in America anymore as of recent rankings. So hey, there's your silver lining, right? And number 3, everybody's favorite, the bipolar weather here in Houston. Houston's weather is the equivalent of flipping a coin, except for the coin has 4 sides and they all hit you at once. You can leave the house by morning and it's 45 degrees and sunshine, beautiful outside. And by noon, it's 85 degrees. By 3 p.m., you got some monsoon thunderstorms come rolling in, and at night, you're back down to 50 degrees. It's like Texas just saw other states have all 4 seasons, and Texas just said, hey, why not we just have them all in one day? And don't even get me started on the humidity. Oh my God, it is awful here. You walk outside in July and it just feels like you've stepped into Satan's sauna. Your clothes are gonna stick to you. Your hair is just gonna have a life of its own. And don't even think, ladies, don't even think about wearing makeup at this point, because it's melting before you even get in your car. And here's a fun fact for you. Houston holds the record of the most times a meteorologist has been wrong, because the weather changes so freaking fast here and so unpredictable that forecasting in Houston is basically just an educated guess, or just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And the fourth thing that really grinds my gears about Houston is going to be all about the zoning and industrialization. Basically just creates a patchwork quilt of chaos. Look, Houston's zoning laws are a complete joke, mainly because they don't exist. Unlike most major cities that have designated residential, designated commercial, and designated industrial areas, Houston just said, put whatever you want wherever you want. And that's why you'll see a $1 million mansion next to a gas station. You'll see a beautiful brand new neighborhood with a scrapyard directly across the street from it. You'll see a preschool next to a liquor store. I mean, the list goes on. It's insanity. It's pure chaos down here. On the plus side, that means your values aren't going to be as high as, let's say, Austin or San Francisco, but on the downside of things, that your dream home might come with an unexpected view of a cement factory. And keep in mind though, I'm talking about the actual city limits of Houston, like the city of Houston. We're not talking about the suburbs here. Suburbs are a completely different story. We're talking about Houston. Okay, so the fifth thing that really makes me angry is about hurricanes and flooding issues in Houston, Texas. Now, if you live in Houston long enough, you'll definitely become an amateur meteorologist. And when hurricane season rolls around, it's like everybody turns into storm trackers and discussing pressure systems and wind speeds like it's their full-time job. Just one of those things that we do down here, I guess. And the worst part isn't really the hurricanes, it's the flooding that will come with it. It takes almost nothing for Houston to flood. A hard rainstorm, flooded. A tropical storm, flooded. And if someone left their sprinkler on outside it overnight, might as well build an ark. The city is so flat, the water has nowhere to go, and some roads even turn into rivers in a matter of minutes. Every Houstonian either owns a lifted truck or knows somebody with a lifted truck, because when the streets flood, those guys become the unofficial Uber of the apocalypse. Coming in at number 6 on the list is gonna be the enormous landmass, which everything is bigger in Texas, including your drive. Houston is so massive. I mean, we're talking about the size of Rhode Island massive. And because everything is so spread out, going anywhere feels like a road trip. You wanna meet up with a friend? Cool beans. Problem is, if they live on the other side of town, you might wanna start packing some snacks, fill up your gas tank, and maybe even book a hotel halfway through. I don't know. It's a long drive. The sheer size of Houston is why nobody chooses to walk anywhere. Seriously, in other cities, people walk to restaurants, stores, coffee shops, whatever, but in Houston, walking is reserved for when your car breaks down, or even then, you're calling an Uber to come pick you up and take you to your destination. Now, there are some neighborhoods within the actual inner city of Houston that are pretty close and have great walkable scores that are close to coffee shops, restaurants, and things like that. Don't get me wrong. And coming in at number 7 is gonna be road construction. Basically, this stuff is a never-ending nightmare. Houston's roads are always under construction. You'll drive down a road that was perfectly fine yesterday, and today it's torn up and orange cones are everywhere, creating traffic again. And the worst part is they take forever to finish. Some projects have been going on for so long that people have literally been born, graduated college, started their careers, had kids, and they're still not done. The new project of the I-45 expansion, well, that's decades out. We're talking about 2040 at minimum. The 610 loop construction, well, that started before time itself. And that one pothole on your street will outlive us all. It's like the city planners are just playing this ruthless game of how can we inconvenience all the drivers within Houston today. And let me tell you, they're winning. So here are my final thoughts. Love it or hate it, Houston is home. Sure, Houston definitely has its fair share of headaches, if not a lot of headaches, with traffic jams, weather mood swings. But at the end of the day, it's still one of the most diverse, opportunity-rich, and fun cities in the entire country. And Houston, Texas has a lot to offer. And if you're not very familiar with the city of Houston, you're thinking about relocating here, there are plenty of upsides that can outweigh the cons, in my opinion. So make sure you check out my Living in Houston full vlog tour and neighborhood tour. I'll leave a link up here somewhere so you can click on. If not, you can go to my Living in Houston playlist, and it should be one of the first ones that pop up. And if you're thinking about making a move to Houston, Texas, feel free to reach out to us. I'll leave all of my information in the description box down below. And if you're watching this on your TV, I'll leave a QR code somewhere here or somewhere there so you can scan and book a call with a member of my team or myself. And we would be delighted, honored, and thrilled to help make your transition to Houston a smooth one. My name is Andrew Lake with the Life in Houston Realty team. I look forward to meeting you, look forward to understanding your goals and how we can help you make your transition a smooth one. See you guys in the next video.